Welcome to Discover Indie Film. I'm Jeff Howard, and with me in person is Robb Padgett. Hey, Robb.
Hello, how's it going?
Good, and it's good to see you.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you. We met at Sherman Film Festival.
Yep.
December 2025, which for us was only, 2 months ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Two. Yeah, barely 2.
Yeah.
Less than 2. Mm-hmm. And you were there because your film, Mary Heistmas,
Yep.
was an official selection. And this is where I get to have fun because I get to say that Mary Heistmas, the film that I guess I should add that you wrote. Directed, one of the producers, and the lead performer, for sure. Lead.
Yes,
I say performer because, that's the kind of woke asshole I am.
I was performing. I'm an actor.
Yeah, actor. Exactly. But
Not an actress.
So basically, handmade film, feature film, and you took home the Grand Jury Award for Best Feature Film Comedy at Sherman Film Festival. And your cast got the Grand Jury Award for Best Performance by a Cast for all the feature films.
They did, yeah.
And well deserved.
They are good, and it's funny because I just gave them parts.
You say you casted people you liked?
I cast people because it's about Christmas caroling, and I'm a Christmas caroler. And I was like, who can sing? And
that's right. So because you wrote, I think anyone should be able to figure out by the title, Mary Heistmas,
yeah.
Heist, if they can't, that it's sort of a mix of a Christmas caroling movie with an Ocean's 11 vibe.
Yeah, it's sort of a heisty sort of vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as you can get for the budget.
Well, we can talk budget if you want when we get there, but I'll just say, it's absolutely an excellent film. I told you by email when at the official selection stage before, in the prep for the festival, I was like, I just got to tell you, I am totally Scrooge. I'm totally the Grinch. I'm like the guy who always jokes, I love that Grinch movie up until the point he steals Christmas, and then it's the best ending ever. I'm just so bummed he gives it back at the end.
What did they do to deserve it to get it back?
They really, he had done them a solid, but they could just spend time talking to each other and not get all about the gifts. And instead, it just switches right back into, no, gifts are, so, but anyway. So I got a very bad attitude, and I enjoyed every freaking minute of your movie.
Oh, thank you.
Thoroughly enjoyed it, and just completely. And then, of course, I get the joy of jumping in, of course, and seeing all the other jurors loved. I'm like, all right. And by the way, Sherman Oaks Film Festival gets 800 plus films, and we screen about 60, 65-ish every year. And the ratio of shorts that get accepted versus features, I think it's 1 in 10 shorts submitted and 1 in 20 features.
There's not a lot of, because people don't have time to sit around and watch 1,000 feature films.
Well, no, it's that it's really hard to make a good feature. At some point during these 60 to 90,
it's hard to make a bad feature. It's just hard to make a feature.
It's hard to make a feature, period. But I mean, they so frequently something happens, and if there's 3 shorts that average a 9.4 from our jury, and a feature that got average 8.7, we're going to show those 9.4s.
Right.
Here I'm talking about films like they're numbers.
Sure. We've monetized and
they're completely
calculated.
But you got to get a little quantitative.
Sure. I mean, there's a competition in part of this festival.
Yeah, well, but our number one goal is the highest quality possible. We don't care if the film is screened multiple times in the area, or if it's a world premiere,
which is nice,
or if it's from Berlin. We showed a film from Bahrain. We knew he was not exactly going to fly out. Well, he might have flown out.
You never know.
Yeah. But we knew he didn't have an LA contingent. He wasn't going to pack the house. But anyway, so we just care about quality. So when I see a high quality feature that just is good from start to finish, I'm just like, so this is why I'm so nice to you when we meet at the festival events and whatnot, because I am so grateful to the people who make good features, because sometimes I'll watch 20, 30 bad ones in a row, and I'm like, are we going to be a shorts only festival? There's got to be some good features in here somewhere. And I actually think Mary Heistmas was the last feature I watched as a juror.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, thank God, because I was just so happy that it was great.
But it was watchable. That's what it's funny because that's what I tell my friends.
See, I say great, you say watchable.
Well,
I appreciate your
yeah.
humility.
I tell people, watch it. Like it's, will it change your life? Maybe not. But you can watch. It's watchable. Like you won't be halfway through and go, "What am I doing? Why am I watching this?" Even though I was mentioning some bad reviews that I've gotten. Now that I've
before we
released it
recorded,
onto the world,
and I was saying I was throwing out the praise. You were like, "I'm glad someone liked it."
Yeah, they watched it. They gave it a bad review, but they watched it. They watched the whole movie.
Right.
Before giving
but you're
it a
saying
bad
there's
review.
people, by the way, for anyone listening, what Rob is saying is because it's a Christmas film with, a little bit of the vibe of the Hallmark.
Well, Hallmark has kind of
Hallmark has
stolen the Christmas genre.
They really have.
Yeah.
If it's not a
hijacked it.
stand-up comedian who has to take over for a dead Santa, it's Hallmark.
Right.
Like Hollywood doesn't touch.
Yeah, Netflix would do the kind of edgy-ish, stand-up comic sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then Hallmark does all this syrupy sweet, take all the stakes and really lower them to the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, but also all this, it's released, right? People can watch it?
Mm-hmm.
Where should they go to watch it?
Oh God.
Is it like every platform? Is it VOD yet, or is it AVOD now?
It's all AVOD because I was working. I produced this under a SAG under 20 contract, so we know the budget's under 20. And so with that contract, you can only do AVOD.
Under 20 million.
Under 20, it is definitely under 20 million. And with that contract, you can only do AVOD.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. So you can't charge $3.99 for a $19,000 film. Can't try to get their budget back. Nope. Fuck you, SAG. I mean, I don't mean to say that, but they're trying to protect people.
They're trying to protect the actors from being exploited.
But the under 20 films aren't exploiting people, I don't think. Well, but maybe.
I mean, if you consider anything exploitive, I mean, you can't do certain things.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're not reaping millions of dollars off of VOD and then not sharing it with their actors.
Yeah, because the directors are exploiting themselves as well.
Really
I mean, I'm exploiting myself. I'm doing all this work for free.
You absolutely were a old-fashioned Russian serf.
Well, and if I didn't have those abilities, there would be no movie.
True.
I can't go around.
Yeah,
I don't know how to get a budget, so I just pay for it myself.
That is one of the bummers of indie film that I've been aware of since the 90s. So around 30, 35 years, I've been aware that there's the people with the talent to make films and the people with the talent to raise money. Yeah. And they're never the same person.
And it's not the same talent. I always tell that to people. They're
totally
like,
different.
People think if you're good at something, you'll make a lot of money. It's like, you can do nothing and make a lot of money. There's people whose talent is just making lots of money. And that's what they do. And there's people whose talent is to paint a picture. And some of those people have the talent to make money and paint pictures. And so they figure out how to synergize their skills. Yeah. But I don't have that money.
Every once in a while there's a pairing, right? Like I know everybody Tarantino, we wouldn't know who he is if he didn't have a friend named Lawrence Bender who could shift into producer mode and do all that producer shit, particularly raising money and shit. Because I know people like we would know who he is if he would have made an $8,000 version of Reservoir Dogs with no name actors that no one would have seen.
Right.
And he would have been proud of it.
And it probably would have been a good movie.
It would have been a great.
Maybe. I mean,
it would have been a good festival film.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he didn't have someone else with those skills that the creative person really shouldn't have.
No, I mean, yeah, because if you're doing that, I mean, sometimes sometimes I feel like I need to focus more and raise my skills on certain things, like editing or music composition or acting. Because if you're just focusing on the money, then how are you focusing on the art? I mean, there's just not enough time in the day.
There isn't.
Yeah.
There isn't. And if you, as humans, we develop skills with repetition. And what skills do you want? Do you want the creative skills to keep getting better?
Right.
Or
do you want to?
Or you want those to stall a little as you finally learn to work a room and sit down at lunch with someone and somehow leave with a promise of money.
So now you've got like a $2 million budget. And they're like, go ahead and make that movie it sounded so great. And then you go make it and they're like, what's this? It's like, well, I forgot how to make a movie. I could use another $2 million.
It's all tricky. But here, so we are both tangential talkers.
Sure.
But we were on the point of, Mary Heistmas is out there. So AVOD means Tubi and
anything advertisement video on demand.
And I'm sure, and the cool thing is like you get to choose where the ads pop up, right?
I don't. I distribute it through FilmHub.
Oh, FilmHub, which is so you self-distributed, which is great.
I self-distributed. Yeah, I had no plan for this movie. I was just gonna make it.
Right.
And I didn't plan to do film festivals, but I was like, oh well, they're not that expensive. And now you can do it via Film Freeway.
Yeah, it's a very centralized. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks to a monopoly.
Unfortunately, yes. But it used to be harder. It used to be harder to do it, and so I didn't want to do it with my shorts and stuff. And I'm social sometimes, so the whole festival aspect of it is fun when I'm there, but getting myself to get there is kind of hard.
Same with me actually, which is ironic.
Because
I have to amp up.
Sometimes if you force yourself to do it, then you're like, okay, I got to do it.
Literally every day, it's like, God, why did I choose to do this with my life? And then I get there and I love it.
And you're like, yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I have a wonderful time.
I went to the opening night gala by myself because nobody could come with me, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm not like a mover, shaker, networker. At least I don't think so. But then I ended up having lots of conversations with people. So
because almost everyone there was a fellow filmmaker who probably like
that guy looks sad and bored.
No, everyone's in the same group of like, look, I sit at home typing on a computer, writing a script, and then you're with other people for the couple of days you shoot the film, but writing, preparing, pre-production, and then editing, post. It's a very solitary career.
Yeah, and it's a solitary career that I enjoy. I enjoy it being when it's more solitary. But I had fun at the gala.
Yeah, because you're with your people, you're with a community.
Yeah, and you have something to talk about. So what do you do?
Okay. What's your film? Yeah, exactly. That's the You got a badge hanging around your neck with the film title.
We should all wear badges around our necks all the time.
I know.
Yeah.
But then, if I might, not humble brag, just straight up brag. But the other cool thing about a gala like at Sherman Oaks Film Festival is that everyone is good. Everyone there is talented.
Yeah.
So I think it makes a difference that the festival has standards, so that because there's this weird thing. We haven't had an asshole. We've had like one asshole in the last like 7 years. I can't understand
Everybody
it.
I talked to was very, very nice.
Isn't it weird?
Yeah.
When I was on the festival circuit in like the late 90s, it was all pricks because everyone wanted to be the next Kevin Smith or Ed
in
Burns.
the 90s were what still inspired me, that indie film movement that happened.
But
then there was money involved. So
there was money. So people were making a $20,000 movie instead of buying a car.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, take it to Sundance and I'll get a 5-picture deal. I'll have lunch with Harvey Weinstein.
Right.
And then I'll buy a big house in the hills and have people come
make my
serve
movies
my
for
needs.
Me. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And so they were jerks.
Yeah.
And now it's very clear that like, it's kind of funny because I'll get emails from people like, oh, I have to pull out of your festival because I got into such and such. And I think, might get a distribution deal there. And I'm like, I wish you well. And I'm just biting my tongue on the keyboard because I just want to go, do you want me to name like the 78 people I know who've taken a feature to Sundance and come home with a pat on the back?
Yeah, nothing. And that's, the most famous film festival in history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so the indie film market is so, it's been reinvented with self-distribution and Film Hub and aggregators.
If there's any good thing about the collapse of the film industry, it's that now we're open to do it for the love, because maybe somebody will give you some money, but not really. Like, there's no money.
It's really rare for someone to be making indie films for the wrong reasons.
Right. Yeah. Because
it's just not worth it.
You have to be, and if you're making indie films to get rich, maybe you're not the smartest filmmaker in the world.
No. Then you get the. It's very funny. I love my friends in indie distribution, but when I look at the website of these, I'm like, oh yeah, shitty crime film, shitty horror film, shitty horror film with crime. Like it's very clearly like they don't even bother sending them to festivals, right? It's just
no. And some of these, because I've made films, not myself, but I've worked on films that have had the distributors, and I'm always like, who are these people? And I go to their websites and I look, and sometimes I'm like, maybe you should just tell them, people, we distribute over 10,000 films, and we don't have to see what they are. You don't need to put the trailer up. Maybe we don't need that. Maybe you pick a couple of the best ones and you put them on the site, and then the rest are just like, and the rest.
Well, we're supposed to get your creative story, and it's very risky if we start talking about distribution, because now we're going to talk about the fact that people. Oh, I feel so bad when there's a film I love at the festivals, and then they'll like tell me the distributor they signed with, and I'm like, oh, the person that signs 5,000 films a year, because they're hoping to make 5,000 per film that they won't give you a penny of.
Right.
And then they make their $250,000 for the year, and they have a home.
That's why they have to distribute so many movies, because if you're doing
don't even
one,
look at it.
Yeah, they don't care. So getting back now, the tangential thing, getting back to Film Hub, Film Hub just went through a big, huge change where they now basically charge you to do anything. And I got in just before that change happened. Just by happenstance. And I actually now know a lot more about self-distribution than I ever did before. And they've distributed it now to a bunch of different places. So it's on indie.tv. It's on... Tubi has licensed it, but it hasn't shown up on Tubi yet. It's on Amazon. It's on Christmas Plus, which is some little streamer. Yeah. But I was like, Christmas Plus they put us on the front page. So I was like, hey, yeah.
Those are the people who are like, wait, I wanted a hall more traditional.
It was actually the Amazon. So Amazon.
The Amazon crowd.
Amazon must have placed it. I can't tell because I can't see any of the back end analytics, which is one of the things they changed about Film Hub. So now I can't see anything.
Oh.
So I'm working blind. I'm making assumptions based on all the reviews I'm getting on IMDb, which aren't written reviews, but they're star ratings. And so like those go up, and I'm like, oh, this. I think it got placed pretty well in England, for free on Amazon. In America, you have to pay, which they're not supposed to do. I told them not to do that. But you can pay like $3. But it's free on Christmas Plus, and it's free on Fossum and some other sites.
I can't even.
This is just.
I used to be able to rattle a couple more off.
Some person who has a YouTube distribution channel. I don't even know how it works. They licensed it, but I haven't found it there. So it's licensed about 10 different places.
Nice.
Yeah.
So people should seek it out.
And so Film Hub, to their credit, liked the movie. And so they pushed it to people. I don't have a dedicated sales agent. I haven't talked to anybody there. I even forgot to upload stills from the movie. And so I have no pictures. I have no trailer. I just have a movie poster and a log line. And they've licensed it to a bunch of people that are actually fairly, they're not the most discretionary, but they care. Tubi cares a little bit.
Well, Tubi does care.
Yeah. And so they licensed it, and so they've been pushing it, and they even created a little video trailer-ish sort of thing for me. I wish they would have just said, hey, we could use a trailer. And I'd go, I'll do it.
They don't know that you're a skilled editor, and you could have done that.
I could have done it.
Oh, my God. Do you think it's an AI trailer? You think they
just... No, they just took like a scene from my movie.
Got it. Right. A clip.
And they just wanted something so people could see that what the movie looks like.
Something cute.
But it was a clip out of the middle of the movie. Somebody chose it. Right. I don't think AI chose it. Somebody chose it.
Yeah. No, I just wondered if it was edited. I wondered if someone at Tubi is like, oh no, we don't have to pay. I don't want to bring up that subject.
Wait, as an editor, I know what it's like.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, people can see the film, and they should see the film. Mm-hmm. It's up to us, up to you if we avoid spoilers during this conversation.
Oh, I don't mind.
It is a Christmas movie,
right?
And a heist movie, and if a Christmas movie didn't have a happy ending, there would be people with torches and sticks at your door. And
there were some people who, because it had a less happy ending before, as far as the romance. People have been critical about it, but yeah, it's not really a romance. It's sort of a relationship that happens.
I love the little romantic subplot. It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, and so it wraps up now a little bit happier than it did before because I got a bunch of notes about it. Like, well, what happened?
After showing it to friends, little friend.
And what happened to them? It's like, I'll throw a scene at the credits. And then we shot it while we were shooting some other movie. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it works. It works. Yeah. And I admit, I liked it. I really liked that relationship.
Good. Yeah, because it's my actual real life wife. Yeah.
Well, that would explain the chemistry.
Yeah.
Was she at the festival?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, fuck. I didn't get to say hi. I would have loved to. I would have been like, that is the best. I believe it or not, good performance.
Yeah.
She knows how to pretend to like you.
Yeah. We've been acting together for quite some time.
Right. Okay. So that's why.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But excellent. So good. That explains it.
Yeah. We met in college doing theater.
All right.
So it's been 26 years. 27.
I'm going to jump on that segue like a trampoline.
Okay.
Had to think of a clean thing, like a pommel horse. And all right, you mentioned college. So now let's just go back. 20 minutes ago, I named all the things you did for the film and what you do professionally. So how did you get started on all of it? Like, were you a super creative kid? Were you a performer kid? Like, what led you into the indie film business?
I was a shy performer. So I wanted to be a performer, but I was shy. And so I was afraid to perform. But I always did little things in my house, like people do. Made a lot of tapes, fake radio shows, cassette tapes and stuff like that. Answering machine messages for my house that were overproduced and too long. So I feel bad for anybody who called when we weren't home. They have to listen to some Star Trek parody before they could just say, I'll be there at 8.
You are making me miss the days of the outgoing message.
I know. I spent all day on
I
those
did it
things,
too.
yeah.
I did it too. I did a Godfather one about if you didn't leave a message, you end up in the river with concrete shoes.
Nice. Yeah. See, and that's a genre of entertainment that is lost to us now.
Oh, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. So you were. I think the term is introverted extrovert.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to explain.
You have an extrovert side, but there's a shyness that you want to.
It's hard for me to get it
close
there.
to the best.
Yeah. So I'll put myself in situations where it has to come out, like a podcast or a festival. I'll just make myself do it.
But as a young kid, you were right. I mean, look, you were writing a script for that.
Right. I was doing scripts for that, and I was also a saxophone player. So I was in band, and I did a lot of band stuff, and I thought that's what I was going to do, actually. I was going to probably grow up and be either a professional musician or a band director. And so I was doing that, and I went to college for that. I went to a community college who happened to have...
So the focus was music pretty much right up through high school, school. So like there were high school bands and stuff.
Yeah.
High school plays and things?
And there were high school plays. So the first high school play I worked on, I was a techie. I ran the soundboard because I had been in the AV squad in junior high school. And so when I went to the high school, they're like, hey, you know how to run a soundboard and set up all the mics and do all that stuff. It's like, sure. I mean, I guess. And so I did that for Grease. And then I went to the cast party. I was like, oh, this is cool. There are girls here and there are guys here and they're all interested in each other. And this is a social event and they're all kind of nerdy. It wasn't they weren't intimidating. They like to sing all the songs from the show. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a high school thing for sure. The drama geeks.
Yeah.
There's the band geeks, the drama geeks, the sci-fi. But but they're a slightly more attractive group
different.
of geeks.
Yeah, they were just and they were having more. It was more social because band was fun and social, and I loved being in band, and but the theater stuff was different. So then when I moved schools to a different high school, and I was like, oh, I'll audition for the plays, but I didn't get in. But I did play in the orchestra pit for a couple of the musicals there. And so I played the saxophone in the pit for the orchestra. And I was like, I still kind of want to do this. And went to college for the music. And they had a good theater department at this college, too. And so I auditioned for a play, and I got the lead. I was like,
nice.
Oh, this is good. And then my band director was really mad about it. He's like,
Because you were straying?
Yeah, he's like, you're a better saxophone player than an actor. I'm like, well, okay, but I like the acting part. And
what a thing to say to a kid.
He tried to break it gently. He was trying not to be a jerk about it, but it didn't come off that way. What he wanted to say was, you're a really talented saxophone player. I think you should focus on that.
But he's also saying, I don't want to lose you.
Yeah.
And that's not so good to say to the developing person.
Right. And I was 18 and I was like, oh, I got to do this play. So I did the play and the music at the same time. And one year I took off the plays. I was like, I'm not going to do the plays. I'll just focus on the music. But then I came back to the plays. And then I eventually changed my major to theater.
By the way, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Washington State.
Washington State.
Yeah.
Right. And school there, or did you go out of state?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
School there. Yeah,
Right.
all the way. And we moved around a lot. My mom would change jobs as a teacher. So we moved from school to school to school.
A teacher's kid. Yeah, that's always an extra pressure. No wonder you were shy.
A divorced teacher's kid. Yeah.
Divorced teacher's kid. So you get to, you show up at school. I'm the new kid.
Yeah.
And my mom's on staff. So I gotta, you learned. Yeah. No wonder you're a performer.
Luckily, she usually worked at a different school, but sometimes she didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So you learned, you developed these skills. Mm-hmm. These were survival skills.
Yeah, especially
for a young person.
She has since passed, so she won't get mad about this conversation. One time we came back from visiting my father for the summer, and she said, "Oh, I got married, so we're moving to go live with him."
Right.
And his 2 kids, and one of his kids was my age and in my grade, and so I had to go to the school where he was fairly popular, and then I was his stepbrother who he hated, and so it was a big
right.
thing.
It was just all of a sudden there's someone under the roof.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fucked up vibe.
Yeah, and that only lasted for 2 years. So then we moved again. Actually, we moved.
Of all
we
the
moved
things,
houses.
it must have sucked to be happy about the split. But But I always say, like, there's no divorce that shouldn't happen. Like,
Right. Oh, my parents should have been divorced for sure.
Yeah. I am very happy in a second. My joke is like everyone needs a first marriage because
I'm still on my first.
Yeah. See, well, people do get it right the first time.
Right.
I didn't.
and yeah, that's so there is probably all divorces are probably justified. It's the marriage themselves that probably could have used the work.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know why my mom married my father. Like, you guys, well, I mean, I didn't want to pry.
They thought each other. They were hot for each other.
Yeah, that was probably it.
The worst thing is being attracted to someone isn't necessarily a reason to spend the rest of your life with them.
No, yeah, because eventually you'll.
But it does get you on a couple dates, and then from there, if you're like, whatever, I get it. So you're moving around, yeah,
doing music,
and a certain level of instability, I guess you had to deal with.
Yeah.
So that made you develop coping skills.
And my dad was an art professor.
Right. So the arts were in you.
Yeah, they were in me. My mom was my art teacher too in high school 1 year, but she was just. That was because it was a small school.
But also that meant when you were interested in music and theater, you didn't have the kind of parents who were like, be an accountant or...
You would think. You'd think.
Oh, but so they were the artistic people who wanted you to do...
Well,
not suffer like they did.
No, the funny thing was I told my dad, I was like, okay, I'm going to change... My mom, I think, was fine. My dad was like, I'm changing my major to theater. And he's like, oh, are you sure? I'm like, what, from music? Yes, I won't be the rich musician now. I'm going to be the rich theater guy. Like, they're basically the same thing, okay? And I was surprised. I mean, he was, of course, supportive, but it took him off guard. I think he just was like, you've been in college for too long. Do you really want to change your major? Because I did go to college for a long time.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
It was a good time.
College is a great time.
And I keep telling my wife, too, and they would have a slate of plays. Like the next year, these are the plays we're doing, and you knew what you're going to audition for, and you knew what you wanted to do. And now in the real world, it's like nobody's coming to me saying, "Hey, so would you rather do this play or this play? It's either Peter Pan or we're going to do Little Shop of Horrors." And they're like, "Okay, well, I obviously have an opinion about that, but nobody cares anymore."
Yeah,
they cared in college.
All right, so Washington State, excellent. Which was also. Pretty far removed from the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
So you weren't thinking film at all.
I mean, there was always Seattle, which was there, regional theater mostly, and in the 90s, because I'm old.
Like, you didn't grow up in a world where, like, I'm always aware that people who grow up far enough from SoCal,
right?
When you grow up in Southern California, like you actually, there is a presence of crew.
And there's an
like,
opportunity.
That like every movie, there are like
Right.
10,000 people making a living.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in Washington there wasn't. So in the 90s, when I was going through college, grunge was a big deal. And Seattle was the center of grunge.
Seattle was the center, was a cultural center for the country.
And I was not in Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
I was in the Tri-Cities, which is some 3 cities in the southern part on the conservative side of Washington that nobody's ever heard of before. But we had a music scene for people who who were in Seattle, but weren't like Pearl Jam or
right. They couldn't get the big bookings.
Yeah,
so they come play for your community.
Play for us, and they would be the headliner. And then I had a band, and our band would be like the 4th on the bill or something.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, and so there was a music industry. So you're like, well, there's a way to be seen by people, but it was still kind of hobbyish. And I think it was indie and grungy and garage. And I think that's why the whole indie film industry is so attractive to me, because it reminds me of that.
Yeah.
Just, making music that's, some of it's great, and some of it isn't so great.
Yeah. But also being made for the right reasons.
Right, because you
like,
want to do it.
It's not like there was a record company jerk saying, by the way, coming into the garage going, you have to sound more like...
Right.
Britney Spears.
Nirvana?
Yeah, yeah, believe me.
Yeah.
Amusingly, I was in Santa Barbara during the grunge era, and a pair of dudes tried to turn Santa Barbara into a grunge scene, like a mini Seattle.
Well, of course.
And it was
of course. I mean, Santa Barbara practically is Seattle.
Hey, there's so much alike. Not at all.
I know,
it was so
weird.
funny that all of a sudden there were all these bands trying to be grungy. And Santa Barbara had a fun little music scene because there's a college, 2 colleges there.
2 colleges and some rich kids that probably have gear.
Oh yeah, there were the Montecito kids.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I don't want to distract. So music scene, theater scene,
theater scene. But yeah, it was sort of the indie thing. Like the thing you were doing wasn't an audition for something else. It was the thing you were doing. And so that was what frustrated me when I got to LA about theater, and I haven't done theater in like
so you
20 years. Graduate with my
graduate
theater
college
degrees.
and you just moved to LA right away?
My wife and I moved here. Yeah.
Right. Met your wife and performing in college. A pair of actors.
Yeah.
Always wonderful when actors fall in love with other actors, because then you have 2 actors.
Yeah. The rare thing. It's not so rare that actors fall in love with other actors.
No,
it's rare that they
it's
stay together.
It's rare they stay together, and I do joke. I'm like, it's always good if one
Yeah.
Anyway, so you moved down to LA together for sure.
We moved down to LA together and started trying to do the acting thing, and we did some theater stuff, but it was very frustrating because people do theater in LA. It's changing a little bit now, but this was, turn to the last millennium. So 2001, 2002.
Yeah, the LA theater scene is always
it was an audition
had
for something else. So
Yeah.
people would sometimes not make it through the whole rehearsal process because they drop out because they got some other thing, or they'd all invite agents and managers to come see the show, and it was high pressure for them. But for me, for us, we were like, we just want to put on a fun show. I'm not auditioning for these people. I'm entertaining these people. They came here to watch a play, not to watch me and think about, can that guy play this part in my next film? I don't want people thinking about that. So, and that's sort of the way I'm approaching the movies too. And which is why, bringing it back again to the not really having a plan. So my plan wasn't, I'm going to distribute this movie and I'm going to make the budget back, or because I don't think I'm going to make any money. And so then people will see it, or they'll offer me money, or, if they want to, fine. But I really just wanted to make the movie. And the movie is very small, and the movie is what it is. And I could have made a different movie for different money, but this was the movie I made, and I wanted to do it sustainably, so I didn't want to be one of those people who calls in every favor they have for this one little indie that is a make or break for them. And if this doesn't happen, then I guess, I don't know, I'll move out of town and I don't know, work in a coffee shop or something. Because, I worked in a coffee shop. I wouldn't mind. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something sustainable. So it took enough of my time and effort that it was good and it was fun, but it wasn't do or die.
Right.
And if it failed, I'm out some money, but not enough that
Right. You didn't. It wasn't a mortgage the house, end up bankrupt project.
It's not do or die.
But also wasn't your first film.
No, I mean it was my first
feature.
Yeah, I mean I made features in college, but they weren't long enough. So I don't even think they'd technically be.
So actually, you did start working with cameras in college.
Yeah. So
So it wasn't fully staged.
It wasn't fully. So at my college they had a scholarship, and that scholarship was just a shit ton of money that somebody put in an account someplace, and not many students knew about it at the time. It was a merit scholarship. You had to have grades above a B average, and since I had been in college for so long, I had honors kind of grades because I was taking bullshit classes, and so I had A's in all my bullshit classes. So I had the grades, and then you submit a project proposal and a budget. And how many, we were on a quarter system, not semesters. How many quarters would it take for you to finish this project? And if they accepted that, they would pay for the project, and they would pay for your school and books while you were making the project. And so the last 3 years of college I didn't pay for because I was making movies. And the college was paying for the movies and my college at the same time.
That's the best thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's amazing. And now it's been kind of, I don't think it's the same now because people have exploited it. And they're like, I'm going to build a sculpture of Ireland. And so I think I probably have to live in Ireland for 3 years and study abroad with the school paying for it so that I can make this sculpture at the end. So I made these movies, and I intended them to be features, but they weren't long enough.
Right. Well, you were learning.
Yeah, because I didn't know. I thought
because you weren't
enough.
A film studies major, right? You weren't doing directing classes,
and I wasn't editing them.
You were performing and writing,
right,
and doing music. So I bet there was a good soundtrack to the film.
Well, the soundtrack was actually from music libraries. I didn't know. Well, that's not true. The third movie I made, I did. A friend of mine.
Did you make multiple movies?
I made 3
through this program.
Yeah,
or?
I made 3.
Nice.
I made a short, and then I made what was supposed to be a feature, which actually is a kind of a Christmas movie.
And you could turn to your parents and go, "Hey, you don't have to worry about tuition." So
yeah, and they never did anyway.
I live by no rules now.
I was on my own as far as tuition was going.
Gotcha.
And they're like, financial aid's there for a reason. I'm like, okay, and it's gonna be there for a long time. But
so what you actually this spared you debt.
I did, and I did work grant at the community college, so I didn't pay for that much either. I got out of school with like a $7,000 debt I went for 8 years.
Man,
$7,000 was all I owed.
That's free.
Yeah, and that was including my rent. Like I would make this money, I would find a way to make whatever money I had stretch.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. And so it was really great. And so I made these movies, and then the third movie I had somebody else was like, you know what, my scholarship, I want one of these scholarships too. So my scholarship is going to produce the soundtrack for your movie. And so I wrote the songs, and we got rented a studio space, and we got a mixer, and his project paid for my album that I made for the movie.
Nice.
Yeah. And so
synergy.
Yeah. And you can hear that album on my Bandcamp page if you want to go listen.
For sure.
From
for
1998.
Sure. We will put links to your website.
Sure.
And then people should listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, and it had real musicians, and I got to hire people and
I would assume as a sax player, I'm making that very blanket assumption that you have interests beyond like rock pop. Like sax leans people into jazz.
I am a jazz person, which is actually, I was into jazz before I was into the saxophone. I've liked jazz since I was a little kid. I think my grandfather he was really into the World War II era, like Glenn Miller big band stuff, and so I was into that. And he was into like parody songs, like the old goofy. He had like an album from the Flintstones.
No, the early Dr. Demento, 70s Dr. Demento stuff was good
It was
stuff.
Probably a little edgy for him, but I love Dr. Demento.
Well, and a lot of that, the music was good.
Yeah, it was really good.
They were talented musicians who also had a sense of humor.
Yeah, and someday I'll put that in a movie, probably. Trying to listen to Dr. Demento, and my dad lived in Wheeling, West Virginia. So in the summer, that's where I'd be, and he had this big house on the top floor. You could only get Dr. Demento if you sat your radio next to the window and put the antenna out and pick up a station from Pittsburgh. Like, right. It would be very crackly and faint.
Good times. Yeah. Dang.
Yeah. So like 80s shit.
Yeah.
The stuff that the Gen Xers can brag about.
Right. So you got a jazz soundtrack of sorts.
It was actually, I was influenced by Dr. John at the time. So it's got this kind of weird pseudo Zydeco kind of New Orleans-y, bluesy.
Yeah, and a fusion, right?
Happened,
Like,
yeah.
kinda...
And I didn't actually play saxophone. I hired a friend of mine who played a little bit better than me to play the saxophone.
Look at you.
Yeah.
See, most people would have just said, no, this is about me. I'm playing.
I think I would have if I had more time. And by that time, I'd kind of not played music for a while.
Gotcha.
Because I switched majors. And so it had been a couple of years. I did write a play while I was in the theater where I played a saxophone player. And then I was the only one who could be cast.
But it's true. No, your skill set, you go from your what's acceptable to you as a sax player. Yeah, if you don't touch it for a year or 3,
it's like,
you're like, well, I can't play as well as I want to.
Yeah, and I don't want to waste everybody's time because we're playing this live. It's before the
you're recording. Everyone's playing together at once. Yeah,
and we recorded the horns a little bit separately, but I didn't want to waste everybody's time.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I get it. I get it. You didn't have time.
Yeah,
you didn't have time in college. To do everything at once.
And I did kind of get people get weird. So I do cast myself in my movies. And some people get weird about it. Like it's a vanity project or it's about ego.
Right. And was that like up in school and once you
moved
here?
And in school, yeah. So the first movie I made starred somebody else. I was just directing the little short. And the second movie, which is kind of a Christmas movie, I put myself in as the lead. And then people gave me kind of crap about it. So then the third movie,
friends?
Yeah, everybody at the school, because they wanted to be in the movie.
Oh, okay.
It's like, well, you could make your own movie.
So isn't people watching it without?
No, not people watching it going, you suck.
These are biased opinions.
Yeah, these are people who just wanted to be in the movie. I think they wanted my part. So then the third movie, I didn't put myself in except for some little cameo. But I did do the soundtrack, and so I think there was part of that too. It's like, well, if I'm singing the music on the soundtrack and I wrote the songs and I'm playing guitar, I'll let somebody else play the saxophone. And that'll just be my thing. I'll be the guy who sings the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So you move to LA and start your lives and doing theater.
Doing some theater, yeah.
And then you become a film editor.
Yeah. I started, so around 2005, we were like, man, this internet thing really, really kicking in. You know what they don't have? They don't have series that were made specifically for the internet. There were no web series. So we're like, hey, let's make a sitcom. And our thing will be, it's a full-length sitcom. I'll write some episodes, and we'll just shoot it in our apartment on, like, now they have these great little digital cameras that shoot in 24p, so things look kind of like a film. We'll shoot on those, and then we'll release it.
Right, like the DSLR kind of thing? Or?
It was before DSLRs, it was the Canon 1D.
Oh, I remember X1, whatever. The big thing, yeah.
Not the Sony, the little Panasonics, actually. It was a little Panasonic DVX 100, I think is what it is. Sure.
But right, it was...
But it shot 24p, and it shot in 16:9 format. I mean, it's teeny tiny, but it was like, this looks cool. It'll do what we want. We have a little boom mic. We'll just make a thing. And so I wrote a bunch of scripts, and I'd never done it before, but 30-minute sitcom. And we shot one, and we shot another one, and then we're like, we're going to release it somehow. I don't know what we're going to do. And then this thing called YouTube appeared. And then we're like, oh, well, we'll put it on YouTube, and we're going to be the first web series online. And then we weren't, because it took too long. And then everybody in the world had the same idea all at once. And so in 2006, 2007, just a ton of web series showed up. And we were just one of them. And there was a writer's strike, and we got written up in some publications like what to watch during the writer's strike. And here's these shows that these amateurs are making. We were one of hundreds. And so we started doing that, and just met people. And so it was indie film, but like indie web series.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of those people have gone on to become, studio types. In fact, the job I'm doing now is the person I met doing web series like 15 years ago or 10 years ago. But so that's what we were doing. Like, we were the web series people. We were invited to come speak.
Which is
UCLA.
great. I mean, that's so cool that you, even though you're saying everyone in the world had the idea, not everyone in the world had the idea.
Not everybody.
But in a world of 7 billion people, if 0.001% get it, now there's like a million or two people
and
trying.
We were all in L.A. It seemed like there's a few outside of town.
Well, but I remember the early days of YouTube where people were like, hey, wait a minute, we can. I had a friend who got millions of views by cutting people into existing films.
Sure.
Like they were doing copyright violation like crazy because YouTube didn't realize they had to block that.
And they didn't have any way to do it unless somebody's eyes got on it. They didn't have AI scan bots, doing the thing. And we didn't get millions of views. We didn't hardly get any views.
But you became part of a community.
We became part of a community. We would they'd have meetups, like they'd start organizing meetups, and we'd go and we'd meet people and we'd talk about our shows. And some people would have some views and some people wouldn't. And in the early days of YouTube, people were actually programming stuff. So like our show would make it on the front page every once, because we knew somebody who introduced us to the person who placed stuff on YouTube. And so we're like, hey, and she liked our show. And so she would put it on YouTube.
And it's still on there, right?
Oh, yeah, it's still on there. But I mean, we'd be on the front page, and so we'd know because suddenly we were getting like 50,000 views.
I just want you to say the name of the show.
Oh, Life from the Inside.
Life from the Inside.
Yeah, Life from the Inside. Still there.
I should, I'm going to type that out right
now.
Sure,
do it.
Why
and then
not?
We did another one called Vampire, Zombie, Werewolf after that, where we kind of tried to up our production game.
Nice. And you probably clued in that like, hey, Vampire, Zombie, Werewolf
it was like
makes good sense.
It does. But here's where we're talking about subverting the tropes. So I made a show called Vampire, Zombie, Werewolf that basically made fun of the fact that it was a genre and the industry around the genre. And it was a meta commentary. And so our fans that liked Life from the Inside and were like, oh, this is a real great commentary on society, we're like, oh, why'd you sell out? I'm like, well, you're not quite understanding the meta commentary. So they didn't understand it, and the people who we were satirizing, it wasn't far enough for them, so they didn't watch it.
I already see a connection that you like to jump into a genre and piss off the purists.
Yeah,
or not. It's not that you like to. It's just your natural instincts to be more creative and do something different with things. That's not, purists don't like that.
No, and they don't, and it's not a real recipe for success.
Maybe, but it's a recipe for quality because, who wants to see the same? Look, the reason I turned off from like zombie horror, werewolf. Look, I grew up in the 80s in high school, and horror was just slasher films, and it was boring as fuck. And it took me forever to realize there was a horror renaissance that actually our teenager pulled me into. Because she's like, I'll only watch horror films. And I was like, well, I'll watch films with you. And I realized, they finally moved beyond
They actually
Freddy,
have something to say now.
Yeah, they're actually doing something good with the genre. But it took a while for
because in the 80s, we would have like marathons where we're like, we're going to watch I think there was only like 3 Friday the 13th movies when we'd do it. But we're going to watch all, not Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th movies in a row. Oh, right. And by the time you got to the third one, you're like, didn't we see this already?
It's the same thing
over
and over.
You fall asleep.
And, the jump scares are the jump
scares.
Out,
they slash somebody in his blood.
No creativity. So the fact that you're creative and original meant that for your second series or whatever, when you were going to make it official, you did Vampire, Zombie, Werewolf, and you were like having fun with it.
Well, and even for the first series. So Life from the Inside is the premise is, and again, I don't know if we live up to the premise, but the premise is about an agoraphobic jingle writer. And so he has to stay in his apartment because we're like, we don't have any money. We've got this teeny tiny little apartment. How do we justify shooting in here? Well, the guy's agoraphobic, so he can't go. He won't go outside. He just won't leave, and he expects the world to kind of come to him. But now he's writing these jingles about these things that he's not really experiencing because he doesn't really go out into the world. So his whole view is skewed, and he's fallen in love with the woman who runs the building, but he's afraid to tell her, and all this other stuff. It's basically sitcom stuff, though. But it takes place in this one apartment, and the comments we got were like, go outside every once in a while. Like, okay. It's a show about an agoraphobic. We took a limitation and we thought we were clever, and now all you do is complain that we're stuck.
It's
here
like
in
making
this
a vampire show, and people are like, "Can't there be daytime scenes outside?" It's like, well, it's a vampire.
Why are these vampires so obnoxious? I'm like, because that's what we're trying to say about vampires.
That's funny. Maybe I should make you teach this misunderstood. Sometimes you're all right. But actually, I was asked about the editing, so I'm going to make the assumption now that you learned how to edit video by making all these films, and making these web series.
Yeah, because they couldn't hire anybody to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, and I was writing stuff. I mean, I took playwriting classes and stuff, and I wrote the scripts for the films that I made in college, and I've written one-act plays and things like that. But I didn't, and I actually edited a little bit in college too. I didn't edit my movies, but I edited on the, where you had 2 tape, 3/4-inch tape decks, and you'd put in the one tape and you'd record it onto the other tape, and you have to push these buttons and do this thing, and and so I did that a little bit. So I knew a little bit about it, but not really. But I learned all the software started coming out, and all the
there's a revolution in editing.
NLEs
software.
started coming out, and I was using Final Cut Pro and all this other stuff, and Logic Pro for music, and just, it was there. The resources,
and you developed the skills.
Yeah.
And so then you ended up with this marketing editing skill.
Yeah, and so people would hire me.
Marketable editing.
Yeah, so they'd hire me to edit like low budget films, and
right. And then you had that to rely on.
Yeah, and
while you could pursue creative stuff.
And even then I was taking the jobs because I wanted to make movies.
Right.
And being an editor is pretty powerful. I mean, I feel like a filmmaker. It's so funny that I always tell people, like, you see the credits scroll and the editor comes up and it's just one little credit. You're like, man, it's so deceptive. Like, the producers sometimes will get more than one credit, but the editor gets this thing thrown in there next to the boom operator or whatever. And it's like, you don't see the months and months and months and agonizing creative decisions that go into editing in that one little credit. And so I wasn't getting paid very much, but I was making, so now I have like 6 or 7 films that I've edited, features, which is a lot for, a low-paid editor.
Yeah, for an indie editor. Yeah, for a freelance person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I do those and then make my own stuff in between.
Yeah. Right. And so you develop that skill set. Because it certainly is, it is editing just like everything else, right? There's all these jag-offs who think, well, I could act.
Yeah.
I think I could do that. And I'm like, well, put yourself on camera and see if you can act like yourself.
Right.
Because the answer is you can't as soon as there's a camera on you. And a lot of people assume they could edit.
Uh-huh. Oh, too many people.
And it's actually, like you said, that credit. I mean, it's just so common that something is good on the page and it's good on the set. I often say for comedy, it's funny on the page, it's funny on the set, it's funny when it's performed. It's funny when you watch the take and then you cut it together and it's not funny.
Right.
Because the timing is everything.
Yeah, and usually it's because the editor didn't know to not cut it, or...
Yeah, it's because the editor just didn't have a feel, because it's actually at that point, it's feel. It's not just technical.
Or the director is like, I don't think it's funny enough. Can you fix it? And then it's like, you're just breaking it at that point. So,
but yeah, it's crucial skill. Mm-hmm. And the editor has to be aware of the big picture, right? So yeah, it's super important.
Well, that's what's tough. I'm working on a vertical right now, and those episodes are teeny tiny.
Yeah, like 2 minutes or less.
Yeah, and we have to deliver kind of quickly. So I'm trying to go through it as quickly as possible, but it's really hard as an editor because you talk about the overview. You really need that time to just stand above the whole thing and go, okay, what's going on here? Like, this decision I'm making in the 5th reel of this movie, basically, is going to affect the way that I edit the first reel. And so I hadn't seen the 5th reel until I got there. Now I'm going to go back and redo the first reel to match the last reel. But I need that kind of, 1,000-mile view of the...
Because you're burdened with giving a shit.
Right. Well, that's true.
Because
yeah, I could not care, and then my life would be easier.
There are many editors who would say, like, I could use that big view, but they're not offering it to me, so I'll do my best.
Right. Yeah, and that's probably why I don't make a ton of money.
But you give a shit, so the work is good.
Yeah, and I want it, and it lowers my pay per hour, but I don't want to put out something that I don't like.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and so even I'm making air quotes, bad movies that I've edited, and there have been a couple, I love them because I made them as good as I possibly could. And so I don't see what's wrong with the movie. I see what could have been wrong with the movie and isn't wrong with the movie. And so I kind of love them. Like, this movie's terrible, but man, it's well edited.
I know that feeling. Yeah. It is an interesting feeling. Yeah, some people look at work and they just see everything they wanted to be better.
Right.
But it is always funny when you look at something and go, if it weren't for me, that would be unwatchable.
Right. Yeah.
I took something pretty shitty and made it almost good.
Yeah. And in my opinion, almost good when it was bad is great. So I watch it and go, my God, this scene really, it looks like a real movie, even though they obviously didn't know what they were doing when they shot it. But here it is.
You did something heroic and only you know.
Right. And even the people who made the movie will forget.
Oh, yeah.
So
they'll be sure that what they gave you was good.
You'll fix something, and then you'll fix it so well, they're like, hey, can I have this? I'm like, look, you asked me for the moon. I got you halfway to the moon and you gave me nothing. I got you halfway to the moon, and now you're like, can you get me a little further? It's like, no, I can't. This is literally as good as I can make this.
So there you are, a Renaissance person,
right?
Renaissance person with this wide skill set, but now you've developed the editing skill set. But the whole time, you're still acting and writing and performing and staying active in music, or did...
Yeah, I composed, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've even been hired to do composition gigs and
right.
Yeah, music scores.
Genuinely jack of all trades kind of vibe. But with some and so here in LA you're just making films too on the side.
Yeah,
for yourself.
So I started working a couple of years ago, actually, just right.
Because somewhere we get from web series.
So right before COVID, a person I had met doing web series, he lives back east, was like, I'm making a movie, and I want you to be in it. And so I showed up to be in this little movie. It's actually, you can see it on Tubi. It's called Gap Weekend. I did all the post production. So I'm in this movie, and it's just a couple cameras. We've got lavaliers in our pockets. And there's a guy running a boom, but clearly this kid doesn't know what he's doing. And so I'm like, okay, all right, I'm going to do this movie because I like the people who are making it. And the acting was good, which was a surprise, actually, because I didn't know those people. I didn't know anybody I was acting with. I knew the director, and that was it. And I'd met one of the other actors before, but I didn't know how good he was. And so I was like, oh, these guys are good. And then I said, I'll do this post on this for free because, for one thing, I'm in it, and I don't want to be in a shitty movie.
Yeah, it's a way to make sure it comes out better.
Yeah, and I'm curious as to what this is going to do. And so I took the footage, and I looked at it. And
right, because you sensed there was something good there.
And even though it was like, there's no crew. They set up some lights. The lights weren't great.
But obviously the story was good.
The story is okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It's good enough. It's good enough to make a movie out of. And I love this movie, by the way. So I don't want to sound like I'm talking bad. I love this movie. And I looked at the footage, and I went back to him on set one day, and I was like, Todd's one of the executive producers of Heistmas. I said, Todd, I never realized you could half-ass a movie before. And he's like, I don't know what you mean. I'm like, I don't want to denigrate your movie, but like, there's no trucks, there's no people. There's 2 cameras and this useless boom operator who we don't need. And the actors, and it's really fun to act in because we're not stopping to change setups. Right.
It was your first experience of genuine guerrilla filmmaking.
I mean, we were doing it. Well, that's what we were doing on Life from the Inside. Was that? Yeah. There was no setups because we weren't lighting.
But it was, you intended it as web series.
But this quality was way better.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, and the sound quality was good, and the camera quality was good, and the DP that he was working with he did Heistmas.
So in your head, it was a difference between you had done the super indie thing for what you saw as web quality, web series, but then you were like, oh shit, you can do cinema this way.
Yeah, this is clearly not a large budget film, but my God, like this is way more than I thought you could do. And so then I got really excited. I was like, we should do more of this. And then COVID hit, and then I was supposed to be in another movie of his, and my second child was born 5 weeks early, the day I was supposed to be shooting this new movie. It's like, I don't think I'm going to make it.
Right. You had a few weeks to do a movie.
I was like, we were going to shoot in 3 days. It was just going to go up to Big Bear for the weekend.
And we all know 5 weeks early meant
hours
and hours and hours and hours and hours
it was,
together as a family.
Yeah, it was a thing. And then so then I was like, I'm going to make Heistmas. And we made some other little movie in between that hasn't been finished yet.
And I assume that's the adorable 5-year-old that was at the festival.
The
5 or 6?
No, it's the littler one. I have 2. Yeah.
Okay.
A little redhead that she just turned 4 yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Happy birthday, Sydney. And then my older daughter Parker, who's in the movie and was at the festival.
Gotcha.
But so we made another little movie, and it was just Todd shooting it by himself. He was directing, and I was in it. And I'm going to do the post because, again, I don't want to be in a shitty movie. And it's going to need a lot of help because there's no production values to this. So he rented some house in West Covina, and we went out there and shot some scenes, and we just shot around L.A., and we shot a scene at Grand Park downtown, right in front of the courthouse, right next to the cops, all walking out, watching us, going, what are those guys doing over there? The guy just holding the camera. We got lavaliers. There's no boom. You'd never know it was a movie.
Yeah, it's not a movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could just be...
Yeah.
It's not a movie set. You're not drawing the kind of attention that gets cops
But
fucking
after
with
pulling in the footage and color grading it, I was like, God, this is something.
It works, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make this movie Merry Heistmas. And so we did it, and I put a little bit more money into it than he did.
But wait, did you have the script for a while?
I was working on it for a long time.
Okay, so you had the idea for Merry Heistmas,
Yeah.
and it was in your back pocket for a while.
Yeah, but I was like, I'm going to really put some work into it and fix this up and make it so we could shoot it ourselves. And then there's stuff like Peer Space coming online, and those things now where you can rent places, and that was most of the expense of the movie, that and food.
Yeah, because you have locations.
Yeah, we have locations that we rented, and some of them we just...
It's probably one of the things that is makes one think it's bigger budgeted than it is the locations.
And that was Gap Weekend, because that's what Todd did. He was like, we're going to shoot some stuff in my condo, and then in the middle, they go up to wine country. And we're going to shoot stuff of us, scenes on the way up to wine country. As we go up there, and we're going to shoot it, stay in a hotel. And they shot a scene in a wine tasting room at the bar while the wine tastings were going on, and the bartender's talking to them, having no clue that they're filming a movie. And I was like, Mike, we can shoot anywhere. We can shoot anywhere. Nobody's going to know. And so I rented some stuff through Peer Space, and then we just went to like Long Beach and shot around the bay a little bit. Found some Christmas stuff because we shot in November. I was like, when are they going to have Christmas stuff up? We'll go in November, get some free Christmas
starts
decorations.
Before Thanksgiving now.
Yeah. Get free Christmas decorations, and then we'll shoot the rest after Christmas is over and after we're all done caroling, because the cast was all Christmas carolers, so we're working all of December. And then, yeah. So, like, that was the inspiration. That's what made me do it.
Yeah.
And then since then, we've shot another movie, which isn't finished, called Drinking the Vine, where we just rented a house up in Paso Robles, and we just shot this romantic comedy around vineyards and in Paso Robles.
Right. So you have locked into, as you called it, use the word sustainable, like a way to make feature films.
And it's only sustainable because it's so cheap.
Yeah. And you're able to do it at a level that you are still able to, you and your wife can eat food and have shelter and raise kids.
Yeah.
And you don't have to raise $150K every time you
Right. And because the guy
I'm
asking to shoot it, who's nice enough to do it for free, he bought actually a Sony FX3 camera to shoot Heistmas. He just wanted to.
But he can use Merry Heistmas he can show it to people, and then he can get paid gigs. I'm sure that's why he did it.
Yeah, and it looks really good, and he probably could make his own movies doing this stuff too, because it's so inexpensive. And I don't have to rent equipment. I bought the lavaliers; they cost $200 a piece. Now I have 4. If we need more than 4, we'll figure it out. And then we just kind of run around and shoot guerrilla style, 90s style, these movies, like Linklater style.
Yeah.
But now the sound quality is better. The picture quality is, it's not film, but it's good.
Well, I would praise it higher than you would. I mean, I
think it's good.
I would challenge anyone who's not, even people in the industry, even people who've worked on films, I would put Merry Heistmas against pretty much anything produced for streaming.
Well, some of those
I would
movies,
say quality-wise, they couldn't tell it apart.
Right.
I really feel that way. I really feel based on the cinematography and the locations and the performances and the quality of the look and feel. And obviously, as the post guy, color timing and everything is handled. So honestly, if you walked around telling people Mary Heistmas was $150K, they would think, oh, I thought it was a little more than that. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, like well, it is, but also it's because it's that good. I was about to like throw shade at streaming stuff that, you know, like Netflix, whatever.
Well, Hallmark movies, sometimes I'm like, you know what? Hallmark movie, Hallmark people, some of them look really great.
Yeah.
And they look better than anything else. Like they look better than anything else in their production. Like the look is the good part. But some of them I'm like, you know, if you would just turn off that stupid light you've got over there kicking all this yellow, orange light on your actor's face, if you turn that off and just use the lights in the room, your movie would look better.
Yeah.
If you just go out, so like for Heistmas, there's scenes where we had a light that was the size of a cell phone that he would sometimes turn on just to fill.
Right.
And he had it on a little stand.
Yeah. Make sure you don't have a shadow on a
right.
face.
Like there's a car scene where my wife and I are breaking up. And so we put that little light on the dash and shot it actually away from us. And then parked the car under a street light so that when with the camera angles, the light was doing what we wanted it to do. And we would go to these locations that were pretty and go, how do we get the background and the light to be good? We're going to have to do the scene right here. So we're going to shoot this scene right here. And now we got good lighting or decent lighting, and then we've got pretty backgrounds, so we're not just looking at a wall or something. And so that was the only skills needed. And then having a camera person who knew how to do the settings so there's no noise, so that in color time, and when you get into color grading, you don't have to, you know, you're not.
You don't have.
Yeah, you don't
by
have
noise
artifacting.
You mean grain.
Yeah, grain and just artifacting.
Just
so if it's too dark, you can bring it up and it'll look good. Yeah.
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 There you go. So you've got this. I mean, I was going to call it a formula, but it's not a formula. It's not a formula. You just know how to make it look great.
Yeah.
Without a massive amount of human beings and equipment.
Right. Hardly any human beings.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so like I've got a plan now. I'm working on a noir and another kind of Hallmark subversive film. And it's like now you just kind of find, where would you like this to take place? Like I've got this noir, I'm writing it for the Florida Keys. So we just go to Key West. We shoot in the street. Nobody's going to stop us. Nobody's going to know anything about what we're making. We got Key West. You can go on Google now and find what the sun's going to be doing at any kind of time of day.
So it's completely liberating.
Yeah.
Because really, when you sit down to write now, as long as you don't write massive space battles,
right?
You're aware that like I can pretty much write what I want to, and I don't have to you just have to make sure you don't write huge crowd scenes and stuff.
Right. And well, in Heistmas they had a party.
Yeah.
And I was like, I couldn't get anybody to come to the party. So the party has 4 people in it. But there was supposed to be about 10.
Still feels like a party though.
Well, so we get there and like, okay, we don't have enough people.
But there is that one guy, we keep seeing that one.
Yeah. I was like, okay, so we don't have enough people, so we're gonna add some lines about how the party's super exclusive. And we're gonna suggest that he's running out of people to invite to this party. So he's dregs. Because we got one actor who's playing the tasting room bartender, and he's at this party. And so why would that guy be there? It's like, because the guy who's running the party doesn't have any friends. So he's inviting whoever he can now.
And he's supposed to be an asshole anyway.
And he's a jerk, right?
Yeah.
And he's a rich jerk, and so he's even inviting people he's mean to in the movie. So it's like, it's fine. It's fine.
It didn't harm anything because we're focused. I don't think it's a spoiler that there might be a heist.
Right.
and so in a heist, people aren't focused on the if it's a good party or not.
Right.
They're focused on maybe a very expensive piece of jewelry.
And you make the thing that's weird part of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy has no friends. He can't get anybody to come to his party
so
anymore.
You're totally liberated to make features.
Yeah, and so this other one I'm working on, it takes place in autumn, and Spokane has this region where there's all these little orchards and stuff that open up and in the autumn, and they have like little pumpkin patches, and it's that they have that stuff around LA, but in Spokane it's smaller, it's a little more family oriented. Go up there, walk around, shoot some stuff. There you go. It's You got production value, and your art direction is taken care of by the place.
Look, I bring this up maybe too often on this podcast, but I will always remember, and I can't name him, but one of those super famous, like Oscar award-winning cinematographers, always, I saw an interview with him where he joked. He goes, you know what? The winner of best cinematography every year, it's actually called Rent a Landscape. They just whatever film is set in the most beautiful landscape, the Academy gives best cinematography, even if that's the easiest thing to make look beautiful.
Right.
It's harder to make a small apartment in North Hollywood look beautiful. It's really easy to make the vistas in Out of Africa beautiful.
Exactly. Because they're beautiful.
So you go up to Spokane or whatever, and all of a sudden you're like, I have now got a landscape.
I've got this acres and acres of pumpkins.
This is cinematic as heck.
Yeah. It looks super cool. And then the story is nice and small and contained. But you just shoot some shots like in Long Beach. We're walking around. There's the big ferry coming behind. There's stuff happening that just happened to happen.
And because you've done enough of this, all your Long Beach scenes, exterior night, even though they're exterior night, you're obviously choosing where the ambient light works.
Near this street light. Yeah. Because in Gap Weekend, they did that. They shot on a pier. I don't even know where they were because I wasn't on the set that day. And some light, and I'm doing color grading for it. I'm like, this is amazing. Like, there's no noise in this footage. So I can really manipulate this to make it look good. I mean, and it looked good already, but I was super inspired. There's a scene where they go up to some overlook area and just have a conversation just at this overlook place, and there's this giant vista in front of them, and they're just having a mumblecore style conversation in front of this beautiful vista. It's like that's where your production value comes from.
Excellent. Yeah. And so each one is even going to look better, I guess.
I hope so.
Because as you go, you're just getting more and more little bits of just more experience that allows you to just keep on improving.
I'll know what works and what won't.
Yeah. And you can experiment now and then, and
sure,
and and cover your ass if the experiment doesn't go.
And if it doesn't work now, then you just generative AI the whole thing. Say, AI, make this scene good.
It's a very organic film.
We shot all these plates and then fed them into AI, and it spit out beautiful looking footage. That'll happen one day. It'll happen. It's a long way. Yeah, no, it won't be in our time.
No. But after we're dead, there might be. I mean, look, still to this day, even Pixar can't make a realistic human.
Right.
So really, is AR ever going to make a realistic human? I mean, I said AR, AI. I mean,
alternate reality one.
I am not waiting on that.
Well, I'm hoping that we can, as humans, detect inhuman elements, but I don't know. Sometimes I argue with chatbots, so I'm not so sure how focused.
I mean, I guess. Well, yeah. Either way, maybe the day will come that you can type into Adobe Premiere. Add 100 extras to this party scene.
Well, probably, yeah.
Because extras you can put in, but the face that we're watching speak.
Plus, it's no fun. I mean, I want to make this movie in Key West, so that I can go to Key West and shoot somebody standing against the sunset for a couple of days. Running around pretending to be a detective.
For sure. So there you go. So now you have created. You got a guerrilla movie studio going.
Yeah. If I could just get Todd to finish the movies that are this is for him. If he ever listens to this, we've got 2 unfinished movies. We need to finish them.
You can forward it to him.
Yeah,
you can.
I should.
You can give him the link. We'll give him the link.
Let's finish these movies so we can.
This will come out in March of 2026. Actually, the episode number might shift, but it's somewhere close to 666. For fun.
Good. That will have made 4 movies that we've made together.
You and Todd. Wow, excellent, excellent. And you're, and so I guess does this also foster your creativity? Like you're in line at the supermarket and you think to yourself, I got an idea for a movie. Like you are completely free now to create.
Yeah. So like the other day, I take walks early in the morning because I'm an old man.
That's so smart.
And I was walking through. I got stopped. I was going around the mall, and I got stopped by construction, and I had to go through the parking garage. And I'm walking through the empty parking garage and see all those little green lights above the parking spots. And there's not a single car in this entire parking garage. And it's the Fox Hills Mall. It's a gigantic parking garage. I'm like, man, this would be a cinematic shot. And if and my wife's like,
slowly
and then
tracking through it.
What if one of the lights starts turning red as it gets closer to him? Like, because it senses when somebody's underneath it. I was like, but this is like, okay, if I ever need a guy walking through an empty parking garage, I'll come to the Fox Hills Mall at 5 a.m. and shoot it. That'll be it.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're going to end up with an encyclopedia of locations in your mind.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So cool. And besides the stuff that you did for Todd, is Mary Heistmas the first feature?
Yeah, it's my first
to come out.
Yeah.
That you wrote and directed.
Yes, that I wrote and directed. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see Gap Weekend, which was the first movie that
Right.
I worked on with him. That we did
and
this
you
kind
edited
of,
and
and we did this kind of workflow sort of system. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but that's not your baby.
No, I mean,
it becomes your baby. You're this.
And I worked on it for 3 years.
I'll share that. Like, I've been a stepdad for 13 of someone's 18 years.
Sure.
So, like, if I say you're the stepdad of this,
sure.
I actually mean it means you care and love it. Like you came in and it's your baby too.
Yeah, because I worked on it because COVID hit, and so I was doing just like trying to perfect the post-production and kind of experimenting with the stuff he shot. Like, what can we do? How can I make this like look like a movie? And I suggested reshoots and all this other stuff, and so we did them. And yeah,
I should probably wait till we're done recording.
Sure.
But what's funny is the gentleman I introduced you to at the Sherman Oaks Film Festival opening night gala, Chris, who also made a feature around the same budget as yours, his first feature. He's made like 2 or 3 more since, but he's a drummer in a band.
Yeah.
He's all like, it's so interesting. Like, creative people like really don't want to be limited all the time.
No, and I wish you could turn the creativity stuff off, but you can't really.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Heck.
I wish I could watch a movie without judging the editing.
Yeah. No.
That?
You have to. It's really hard for you not to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if it's really good, all of a sudden you lose yourself,
then
right?
I'm like, this is excellent. Yeah.
I know. That is the funniest challenge of particularly filmmaking, right? Is you need people to not notice.
Well, that's so like the cinematography, rent a Vista thing. It's sort of with editing. They don't give the award to the best editing. They give the award mostly to the most editing. Like, here's where the editor had to do this fun, weird thing. And it's like, but if you've watched a movie and hadn't paid once attention to the editing, that was good editing.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you were involved in that story and you didn't think, wow, like Amadeus, one of my favorite movies. I've never once thought about the editing in Amadeus, which probably means that it's amazing. But I haven't ever paid any attention to it.
And like a film like Bridesmaids,
right,
where every joke lands.
Yeah.
Probably a harder edit than whatever won that year.
That would be awful. That's almost like editing a documentary, which I don't like to do.
But like I'm sure that person deserved an Oscar.
Yeah.
Because I've seen jokes just killed in the editing room.
Right. And Bridesmaids, because they're running 2 cameras at once and editing different takes, and they're probably all doing wildly different things, that editor, like I've had to do many times, is going to the footage from before they call action and the footage from after they call cut to find reaction shots that don't match, but that that aren't for the scene but will work in the scene.
Yeah, they have to make it work and stay funny.
Yeah,
which is
make it look seamless while going to find whatever scraps you can to fit this thing together.
And anyone who's ever edited, particularly edited comedy, knows you can't explain it, but sometimes just a couple frames, fractions of a second, make it funny. And if those frames, and then you shift it off 3 frames, which is 1/8 of a second or whatever, all of a sudden it's not funny.
Right.
And how the hell is that?
You never know what makes it that way. And that's when you're like, people should be funny. The editor wasn't funny on the project. The editor needs to be funny because they need that timing. And it's not like a beat, 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 beat. It's not like a musical timing. It's kind of a vibey timing, and you can't ever tell what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, that dramatic editing, not to put down people who edit dramas, but those dramas I love that make me cry, because as an old man, I need help feeling things. So one of the jokes at the festival, by the way, on the jury,
much feeling.
Everyone jokes like, if Jeff cries, he's going to fight to get the film in. Because like 5 or 6 will make me cry every season. And I'm like, a film makes me cry like it really got me. But all you got to do is just go on the face of the person being hurt.
Right.
I was just saying it's not the hardest editing job.
No,
to make me cry, because
the actor's doing something, or the music is doing something,
and the story is affecting.
The story is important.
Story and the performance are so good.
Yeah, I was talking about this with the director about the act. She's like, "Can we get more of this vibe from the actor? Like, I need to know what she's thinking." I'm like, "Well, she's not. Her acting's real subtle, so it's going to be reliant on some of the music, and if you change the music, it'll look like she's thinking a certain thing, and if you change, the vibe of the edit, we can make her think whatever we want."
Yeah. Oh, that is one of the. Enjoyably, I know we got to wrap it up,
sure.
but enjoyably, I actually got, I think the podcast before you, the one I just recorded a day or two ago, it was one of those ones that had kick-ass narration, and narration wasn't written. They figured out in post that they needed narration.
Oh yeah.
And then they just used all those reaction shots that were going to be in the trim bin, and all of a sudden it looks like they're thinking those words, because as a viewer, as the audience, you have no idea they were just sitting there going, "Boy, this actor across from me smells bad."
Yeah, or what am I going to eat for lunch today?
Or I do not want this guy to kiss me, and I know he's going to have to kiss me in 30 when they finish this line. But somehow that with the narration sings beautifully.
Right, and if you have an actor who knows how important it is for reaction shots, they'll get into a movie more.
That's true.
Dizzy, the girl plays Dizzy in Heistmas. Like, I didn't appreciate it on set because I'm acting. But when I got into the editing bin, I was like, God, like, she's always got something for me to cut to. It's like, good for her. She's going to be in the movie a lot. She's going to tell us what we're thinking.
That does show. Yeah. That really shows when you're in the... actors who don't takes off when they're not the focus.
Yeah. Or just have something happening, because it might be in your eyes and it might be in your mind.
By the way, it's also being a good partner and being there for the other person, because phoning it in when it's their close up is a rude thing to do.
Even when she's just reacting to a scene that's happening around her, she's doing something. I'm like, oh, she's active. So it's being an active listener.
And by the way, because we have to wrap up, I'm just going to have to say, for everyone listening, I mean, I was really impressed with your film, and I just thought you kicked ass as a leading man.
Oh, thanks.
And I told you this at the gala or whatever. I was like, I was watching this film. I'm like, this dude, and I know leading man, whatever. I guess in my heart I want to say lead performer. Like it's really hard to carry a feature, I think.
It is, and
the fact that you did it impresses the shit out of me. And then I find out you're an editor and this, that, and all these other skills, and I'm like, I'm glad to hear that you're going to make a lot more, because
I am, and with a lot of the same people, because they were.
But I just mean, it's rare for me look, a lot of times the films at the festival, sometimes the performances are the least effective thing, because really getting a high quality actor, that's the hardest thing for an indie filmmaker to pull in, right? If you're a writer director who doesn't perform and isn't around actors all the time, and don't have a crew of friends to pull from or whatnot. I do always remember a funny quote, which was Kevin Smith interviewing Spike Lee, and Kevin Smith said something like, well, people criticize the acting in my film, so I'm just using my friends, and you use your friends. And Spike Lee just said, yeah, but my friends are good actors.
Well, I didn't even know. So they were carolers, and I knew that some of them were good. Like the Kian, the guy that plays Miguel, I knew he would be perfect for that part. Like, his vibe is that part. He wouldn't have to do much. He'd show up and be himself, and he can be funny and silly and stuff. But so I was like, oh, he'll do it. And then Natalie, I actually had her audition for my daughter, and then she was so good. I was like, oh wow, like these guys. This is also, if you're looking for actors, find your people who have been working forever and ever, and aren't your typical Hollywood types. Put them in; they'll be the best actors you've ever seen.
They will. And to your credit, you actually were casting scene stealers, right? Like people who, when they're opposite you, you didn't mind that they were pulling attention away.
No, and I wanted them to. Yeah.
Which isn't just generous; it's smart.
Yeah. Well,
that's the movie producer.
I want the best.
Your brain has all these sectors, but the producer is like, I need people to. Yeah,
I need them to be good.
Yeah,
or else the movie's not going to work.
Of course. I know we didn't even get into the whole caroling thing, but it is a wonderful element in the film and done for real.
Yeah, done
because
for real.
you're a real Christmas
and
caroler.
because we could just call out songs. We're gonna do Jingle Bells. We all know it. We're going to do this song, all the public domain ones. I did arrange a couple of songs for the movie, but...
Very smart public domain,
yeah.
Obviously, most Christmas music has been around for a while.
Some of it, yeah. Some of it's been not around as long as you think. You're like, good God.
Bet. But what is it, 75 years or something it becomes public? Who knows?
God, it's changing. So we're hitting a threshold now. The copyright stuff, look it up. It'll depress you. Like, you can use anything before a certain date, but then in the next couple of years, that date will change and won't come around for a while. There will be nothing in the public domain really for a while.
Right, because there's attorneys figuring out how to suck it
and
back
Sonny
in.
Bono screwed it all up for us.
Oh, did he? Was part of it?
Yeah.
When he
pushed it for like 95 years or something. And now it's going to be 75 years after the artist's death or something. So if that person writes a song when they're 15, they're going to live another, by then, 100 years. So, and then 200 years, their song will be public domain.
Nuts.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And he was, well, anyway.
Yeah, and
Too
then he
bad.
hit a tree and he's gone.
Bad. Yeah. Well, maybe that's... Oh, my God.
No.
I am not a good person. I've never claimed to be a good person. So, yes.
We miss you, Sonny Bono.
I don't know. I think he was probably an asshole his whole life. I do remember like a couple Cher interviews. And by the way, like, it doesn't reflect well on a man of his age dating a teenager when you actually we accepted that back in the day.
How's a guy like that get Cher?
Cher was
you pick her up when she's a kid.
She was like 15 or younger. Yeah, no, actually.
You got to get her before she knows better.
Creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had lots wonderful qualities.
I'm sure he did.
But, I have a problem with I do have a problem. I'm so proud of my moral stance
sure.
that adult men should not pursue children.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
And I apologize to all the teenage women who think they're adults. You're actually not. So,
right. Think Sonny Bono is going to make you a star? He isn't.
Needless to say. Yes. Cher only became a star because she had the goods.
She's talented.
She became a star in spite of Sonny, not because of. That's what. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Terrible tangent, but we should wrap it up because
I'll wrap it up with a gift. Look, I brought you something.
What is this? It's
one of them.
Oh, you had a bunch. You got a.
I bought a bag of like.
I'm forgetting the name. Did the gem have a name?
The Heart of Christmas.
The Heart of course.
Of course.
Yeah. Is that like is that a subtle Titanic reference too?
I was just finding a generic.
Wasn't
diamond
the thing in
the
Titanic Heart of the Ocean?
Yeah.
I am now holding a prop from Mary Heistmas.
That's right.
That's rad. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right. Well, I will wrap us up with podcasty bullshit statements.
Sure.
Like, well, first of all, in the show notes there will be links to all of Robb's stuff, so you can follow whether it's your website, social media, all that. Everyone should for sure watch Mary Heistmas, and then go give it good reviews in places.
Yeah, give it some good stars.
In fact, I will. I'll go on Letterboxd.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I got
the reviews.
Letterboxd, this, that, the other, Rotten Tomatoes, wherever you can, and because of course, needless to say, one thing that bums me out as a fan of indie films is that people who watch stuff, if you watch it and you like it. You like it.
Yeah, you just like it.
If you watch it and it pisses you off, you run over to IMDb and you bitch.
Letterboxd. It's like, I'm so sorry my movie found it in front of your face. It found itself in front of your face, and you had to come here and tell everybody how bad it was.
And look, I'll just share very quickly. Like, we had one film years ago, and this guy had zero budget, and so he shot like bar scenes in his living room with cardboard cutouts. He made cardboard cutouts of extras as a commentary on it, and someone actually shit on him and wrote a review that criticized how low the budget was. And I'm like, that was the point.
Yeah, you're missing the point. Yeah.
That's like writing, a review of a barbershop quartet and saying, too much singing. I want more instruments.
Where are the guitars?
Where's the? It's like
that's the only thing that saves me from these bad reviews that I've gotten is that none of them have criticized the production quality or the sound. Nobody said this movie's low budget is not worth paying attention to. It's all been criticism of our performance or the story or the singing. So, but you know,
None
those
of
are
that's
elements,
valid. That's totally invalid.
but it's all elements of the movie, things that they didn't like that you would not like about an actual movie.
But it's because when they hit play, they expected. It's about their expectations,
Right. And they expected because Amazon put it in front of them that I don't know that it's a big budget Amazon movie.
Right, well, that is true, right? Yeah, people can't tell the difference.
They can't, and because they can't tell, they're like, why is this heist so meager? It's like, well, because the movie can't afford a big heist.
I guess that's true.
Like, why did this person make these weird decisions? Why is this movie so small? It's like, well, because there's no money.
And by the way, shouldn't that guy have been George Clooney?
Right.
And
I don't know any of these people.
Yeah.
The acting is wooden. It's
So,
unfunny.
The acting is great.
I know the acting is good. They can criticize the acting all they want.
It's all. Yeah, I get it. It is the expectations game, and you happened. But hey, I don't know.
I might be writing a movie about this.
Oh,
Yeah, might be working.
Fair
on
enough.
This. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right.
Okay.
I will wrap this up. So click the links in the show notes to follow Robb's stuff and go to discoverindiefilm.com if you want to learn more about this podcast. On social media, it's always at DIFWins. I quit social media a year ago.
Ooh.
And I've been happier. But my wonderful podcast producer, Karina, she will read. If you send messages to us on social media at DIFWins. But I'm just saying I won't see it because
I'm only on Threads, and even that's begrudgingly.
It's funny.
I mean, I'm on Facebook, but I don't look at it.
I have to jump in sometimes because I have a couple people in my life who only send like instant messages on Facebook and or Instagram. But I'm like, so they pull me in. But I try not to scroll because, they just start showing me bunny rabbits and huskies and guinea pigs. And I'm like, an hour of my life goes away.
Yep.
Or worse, the politics. But anyway. All right, so that's discoverindiefilm.com. If you change that to .org, discoverindiefilm.org is the nonprofit that runs 2 festivals in the Los Angeles area. Sherman Oaks Film Festival, where we showed Mary Heistmas.
Excellent film festival.
Thank you. And Film Invasion Los Angeles, it's every June. And both are in the top 100 best reviewed worldwide.
As they should be.
Thank you. And, out of 14,000 festivals in the world. So, there's a lot of, needless to say, there's 2 or 3 festivals per weekend in the LA area.
Right. There's a lot.
A few are good.
Yeah.
But many are not.
Yeah, many are not. I only submitted to 4. I got in 3.
And you paid attention to
when
to
they were
reviews
screening,
and things.
And when they were screening, yeah.
Right.
Reviews and when they're screening. It's like I don't want to just go anywhere.
Yeah.
So, but if they're screening in the near Christmas and they were good, yeah.
For sure. All right. So anyway, that's discoverindiefilm.org for the nonprofit, and that will get you to both. That's got links to Sherman Oaks Film Festival and Film Invasion Los Angeles, and I always call those 2 sister festivals. And in 2026, this year, they got their cousin. Their cousin in South America was born. We held Film Invasion Lima in January.
Nice. Get those Peruvians
While we're sitting here 2.5 weeks ago, we had Film Invasion Lima, and it kicked. The thing that made me happiest is some of the people. All right, this is bragging, but like we get emails pretty frequently from people saying like that was one of my best festival experiences ever for Sherman Oaks and Film Invasion LA, and we got like 2 of the people that were there in Lima and traveled to it. We're like, that was like the best festival experience I've had.
Nice.
And I'm like, yes,
yeah,
shows the right teammates down there.
That's good.
The team down there kicks ass.
Did the people come wearing those really cool hats that they wear in Peru?
I didn't see any cool hats in the photos. I didn't. Hopefully next year I'll be able to fly. It was January 6th. It was literally 6 weeks after Sherman Oaks wrapped, and right after New Year's. We realized that like Christmas and New Year's are kind of a busy time for the world.
Yeah,
it's kind of a hard time to get people to like send you copies of their film with subtitles.
Right.
Like the subtitle thing was a challenge.
Yeah.
So we're moving it to Valentine's weekend next year.
Nice.
So we'll have a little more time to recover after the holidays.
Good.
As well as all the filmmakers to recover after the holidays. It'll be by the way, Thanksgiving. Boy, my brain is... Valentine's Day weekend is also President's Day weekend next year. So it'll be a 3-day weekend. So most of Los Angeles, I'm sure, will fly down to Lima.
Yeah, why not? They're not doing anything else.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a great way to spend the holiday.
Sure.
All right, so So I think I mentioned everything I'm supposed to mention.
Okay.
Thank you, Rob.
Sure.
And thank you, everyone, for listening.